base gets up and running, he is going to need plenty more. So a barracks should be coming up any moment now. Really using cloaked Wraiths as essentially scouts, not scouts as in the units, scouts as in the well, I don't know, the unit profession. Let's go with that one. Yeah, as in the profession of scouting and scouting out the unit composition, how many tanks Ruby has, what kind of forces he has out in the field, and it's a big difference. Really has a lot more forces out in the field, straight up. But Ruby has the Wraiths, so if he can use those Wraiths effectively, pick off the Wraiths of Really, and use his cloaks well, he could do pretty well. It looks like Really's going to try and engage here on one of these ramps now, and Ruby's trying to engage with his Wraiths. That is not a smart idea right now. He just lost almost all of his Wraiths. I think he's only got 1 or 2 left. That was not smart at all by Ruby. He did not have nearly enough tanks to really support his Wraiths. You know, it can be okay to use your Wraiths that way against Goliaths if you've got the tanks to support you. But he did not there, so that was very, very poor play by Ruby. Poor planning and decision-making on his part doing that. And the starports are still building, so he's building more Wraiths. Usually you see players stop producing Wraiths at this stage of the game, but wow. Ruby's decided to continue producing Wraiths. That is very, very surprising to me. Kind of once again, I don't really agree with it. I would rather see him produce some dropships. I think that would be the better idea right now. Looks like Ruby's trying to turtle up right now and just try and hold out, as Really's just trying to put on some pressure, just trying to get some attack going. He's got this ledge. This is the ledge that I was talking about outside of the natural expansions, and one of the Wraiths for Really goes down. But he's still got a couple left, so he's okay. And it looks like a couple of SCVs might have been trapped there by Really. Aw, poor SCVs. That's tragic. Tragic SCVs getting trapped there. That's never fun. But still no dropships, I don't think. I'm very, very surprised to see that Ruby hasn't gone for dropships since he's got these 2 Wraiths going, or these 2 ports going. And it looks like Really's going to try and get a little bit of a push in here. We'll see how far he decides to try and get in here. And he's sieging up, going to try and see how much damage he can do. Good, easily that turret's going to go down. And yeah, really not going to engage too far. Just didn't want to allow any turret numbers to grow. Didn't want anything like that to happen. And it looks like, yeah, it looks like Ruby just lost his engineering bay as well. So that's unfortunate. Another little pain for him, not going to be able to throw up more turrets. I mean, he's got the couple going up right now, presumably around his base, but not a lot right now. And he's really setting up a very nice contain right now, as tank numbers are growing, spreading out his tanks on a very wide range. And, you know, this is kind of interesting. You know, we usually think of static, as we think of the word static as it relates to StarCraft, we usually think of static defense as bunkers, turrets, cannons, etc., the like. But this is actually a case where I think Really trying to set up some static offense, some static pressure across a very long line. Really's got to defend all the way from the ramp from his third base, ground-wise, all the way to the cliff of his main, and then he's got to watch out for dropships that could come out at any moment for Really and start pressuring his main, coming out from the different sides. Towards the left of his third base, all the way across the southern side of his main base, and that's a lot of pressure for Ruby to deal with. He's going to have to play very, very intelligently to block this. He's got a couple of, I think Really's got a lot of options right now because he's able to put on the static pressure. One thing he can do is try and take extra bases, and that's what he's doing there at the bottom left-hand main. He's going to try and take a 4th gas, try and just get such a huge macro lead that he has just an indefeatable advantage. The other option he has is apply the static pressure across an entire long line, and then at a point of his choosing, he can dart in with dropships or just a huge force and try as like a pincer, not like a pincer, but like a blitzkrieg, and just charge in at one spot wherever he finds any sort of weakness in Ruby's defense, and just charge in there and do a lot of damage. And maybe try and take a game that way. And that's the problem right now for Ruby, is that he doesn't know where the attack is coming in. He's got to defend a really long defensive line, and in military, in war, you don't want to be defending that kind of a line. It's usually a bad spot for you. I see another base going up at the bottom right main, I believe that is. So really, he's going to try and take 2 extra bases. So using this pressure to expand as much as he possibly can. A couple tanks being dropped off at the third base for Ruby, going to try and defend here, and really walking in there with a couple Goliaths a little bit carelessly. Looks like he's going to lose both of those Goliaths. And some Wraiths coming here are going to try and pick off some of the siege tanks for Really. They're going to pick off at least 1 until Really can come in here, maybe build a turret or 2, maybe come in with a couple Goliaths, something along those lines. Yeah, there's the Goliath coming in there. Going to pick off one of the Wraiths and force the other Wraiths to retreat. And, yeah, Ruby at this point really only has sight of maybe 15% of the map, and technically really only has sight of maybe 25% of the map. But he knows where everything of Ruby is. He knows exactly what's going on with Ruby, whereas Really does not know what's going on with, or Ruby does not know what's going on with Really, and that's a really bad spot for him. We got a couple Rays trying to pick out a tank right now. Ruby trying to just do whatever he can to try and to break this contain, but it's a really strong contain, and it's gonna be tough for him. Oh wow! Look at that! Look at that! The main of Really is able to shell the expansion of Ruby, at least the extraneous portions of that base. Lost Temple, anyone? Wow. Didn't realize that you could actually fire across it. That kind of sucks. We've got 3 dropships out right now for Ruby, so he's going to try and maybe go for a little bit of attack and try and break this contain. We'll see. We'll see if he goes for a counterattack, maybe goes for the main of Ruby, or of Really, or if he tries to actually break some portion of this wall and of this contain that's going on against him. And I suspect that he'll probably try and break the wall, and yeah, there it is. He's going to try and break this, and he's going to have a lot of success here at this ramp. But it looks like Really coming in with a couple counter dropships of his own. I don't know if this is enough forces, though, for Really. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's got enough forces there to clean this up, but it's very, very close. Actually, hold on a second. Yeah, okay, never mind. It was very, very close, but Ruby does come out ahead, bringing in some forces as well. Going to try and really drive this home. Really going to try and take this this ramp, this ledge. It's very important that he keeps this ledge. He doesn't want to lose it. That high ground just gives you so much control over such a large portion of the map. We've got turrets going up at random points around the map for Really. Going to try and stop dropship play. Going to try and give himself as much sight as possible. Going to make it difficult for Ruby to take bases, that sort of thing. Very smart play once again. 5 dropships now out for Ruby. Going to be going for some big drops. Big drops coming out. It's going to be coming out soon. 3 dropships out for Ruby, or for Really. Jeez! Ruby has 5 dropships. He's in yellow. Really has 3 dropships. He's in red. Ruby has the dropship advantage, but Really has the economic advantage, so it's going to be much easier for Really to keep producing dropships and keep filling those dropships, whereas Ruby, he can maybe fill those 5 dropships right now, but if he loses those, like if he goes into attack and he swaps armies, he loses his 5 dropships worth of units, he's not going to be able to refill that up right away, I don't think. It's going to be very, very difficult for him. Yeah, that's kind of a bad spot for him, and I think he's going to have to try and take down at least one of these expansions for Really, but I don't know if I think he may have just waited too long. I think it may be too late in the game right now, and Ruby may be just pretty much dead at this point, just because those bases for Really have just been up for so long at the southern end. Those 2 bases have been up for quite some time, and Ruby coming out here with some SCV is going to try and take down some siege things. Probably going to have some moderate success, maybe at least take out 1. And now here comes a dropship attack at the main of Really. Ruby dropping off 5 dropships worth of units. Really coming in with a counter drop with 4 or 5 dropships of his own, and this is going to get cleaned up. Really's is going to have a fantastic defense, not really losing much at all. I don't even know if he lost more than a turret. I think he lost a turret. And that's about it, and not even really an army swap. Really lost a whole lot more forces than Really did, so a huge advantage right now for Really. Once again, even bigger. Really's going to be able to load up one more time. This is pretty much the last hurrah for Ruby. He needs to do a ton of damage with this dropship fleet. If this dropship fleet just doesn't do some critical damage, it is going to be game over. It looks like he may have lost a dropship actually to some of those turrets, and these units being dropped at a random position. Looks like he's going to try and defend his 4th base. Maybe he thinks that if he can defend his 4th base, he can catch up. But the thing is that he's down. He's been down to 2 bases for a really extended period of time. He does have another command center floating up. He knows that he's behind, so he's going to try and take a 5th base. But at the same time, Really taking a 6th base. Really just will not fall behind macro-wise. It's just not possible. And at the same time, Really is going to drop the 3rd base of Ruby. Going to take this entire thing down. There's no way that Really's going to be able to, Ruby's going to be able to come save that. He's coming in with the counter drop. This is not just going to do anything. This is, yeah, not nearly enough forces. There's GG from Ruby. Really comes away with the win. Really with 2 big wins against Anytime and Ruby. Probably the top 2 players for Ace right now. With apologies to Reach, and I don't think any of the Zerg players are doing anything anymore since Oversky left, so really those are the only 2 high-quality players, Reach being the 3rd decent player. So ESTRO's going to get the win here in round 2, and am I going to bring you one? Yeah, you know what? Here, I'll bring you one more game from this night, from these 2 matches. I'll bring you one more game. I'll keep it a surprise as to what the last game is. Although if you've been following me and you look at the match list, you can probably guess which game is going to be. But anyways, I'll see you there. Next game, one more little special game I'll do for you guys. See you guys later.